Okay, and first I'm going to go ahead and go into the presentation here, and I'll show you what is required from the test, and then I'll go into my incognito tab with my personal Gmail to show you guys how it looks. So in our Gmail account, so the thing is, and I know that yesterday I think you went over this, we don't have Gmail in our district. We use the Microsoft. So you have to use your personal Gmail account that you created to go ahead and practice all of these skills through. So these are the skills that will be asked of you on the level 1 test. You'll have to compose a message, add tasks with due dates, create labels, and initiate a meet within Gmail. So the first thing is to access your Gmail account. So you can do the same thing like you do with most of or all of your Google apps. When you're accessing your Gmail account, you'll hit that waffle in Google, and then you will find the Gmail icon. So I will go into my incognito tab. I already have my Gmail up. But if you're here and you go to your Google, and Gmail shows up right in this corner right here. So it's easy access. You can click it this way, but if you don't see it, Gmail will pop up here as well. So you can access your Gmail that way. So when you're in your Gmail, and this is just fair warning, I have different email addresses for like different things, and that's also a good thing I wanted to point out too. So if you made a Gmail account just to do this training, I would highly suggest you can use it. So I use like this Gmail account for a lot of like those promotion type things or things that I don't want to clutter the things that I really need to know. So these are like Zulily and stuff. Like this is what I use mine for. So this is all those like store things. So I would transfer it over. I have separate email addresses for things. So you didn't, if you created a new one, you didn't create it for no reason. I would use it. But going from there, how to compose a message in Gmail. So how to compose, it's this big button right here with the plus sign that says compose, and you'll click that and a window will pop up. And a lot of times for me personally, I have a lot of vision problems. So this is really tiny for me. You can click this button right here and it'll access it into full screen and make it bigger for you. And it works just the same like our district email. So if you start typing in someone's name or their email address, this is my dean at my school, it'll pop up and you can add them directly there. So you can add a subject just like we normally do. I'm going to type in math. And you have the same access. So here, what's really cool about Google is whenever you are trying to attach files or attach links, you have all access down at the bottom here. So if you're in the Google Level 1 test and they're wanting you to attach a document into a Gmail account, you can share it via the share button in the document, or you can attach it directly here. This is in your computer. You can attach it that way. And then you'll just press send. You can attach, oh, that's what I meant. Here's your drive right here, guys. So your Google Drive is right here, and it'll pop up immediately from your Google Drive. This is my personal Google Drive, and it doesn't have a lot of things in it. But you can attach those documents directly from there. Now let me check the chat box to make sure there aren't any questions about this, okay? Alrighty, so let me pop back into this. So we went over how to compose a message. Oop, my computer's lagging behind a little bit, guys. All right, so the next thing is like you're gonna create a task in the digital to-do list that can be directly accessed in your Gmail. So this is just a to-do list, and I find it super helpful. So whenever you're doing this, it's off to the right in your Gmail account. It's right here. It's really small. Let me see if I can zoom in for you guys. It's not zooming in this incognito. But right here into the right side, this is your tasks right here. So this is just a to-do list. So you can add a task, so like lesson plans. And then another thing they'll ask you, and you need to know how to do, is you will have, say, lesson plans, and you can edit it. So say your lesson plans are due on Thursdays, and you need to make sure that that's going to show up there. You can add a date and time. So lesson plans are due next Thursday. And you will select that, and it'll add a date and time and due date, and it'll pop up and give you a reminder. And that's super helpful. So when you go back, it'll go here. You can also drag and drop emails into those tasks. Sometimes what I find helpful as well is you can right click and you can move it into your task. So say this was an email from somebody, our parent, that I need to respond to, but I don't have time to respond to them right now. I can right click after I highlighted it, and I'll hit add to tasks, and that'll just add over there, so it'll separate it out to remind me, hey, I need to email this person later. I need to do something with this email. So tasks are super helpful to have a to-do list that is digital within your email account, opposed to all those written tasks that you can have separately, and it's all in one place. All right, and let's see. And then the next thing you can do, so like this email account for me is a complete and utter mess. So say I wanted to organize it, which I do. It's one of my tasks for the summer, but I haven't gotten to it yet. You can create labels for these emails to go into. So how you do that is right here at the top, and it looks like a little label like you would stick in a book to label something. You click it, and then you can create a label. So say I want to have all of my shopping in one label. So I can create that label, and it will pop up over here. So now shopping is here. So I can right click that email, go all the way down, and I can make sure it's showing in shopping. And when I go over there, those emails will show up there. So see, it went ahead and categorized it in that shopping list. So that's just a way to organize all of your emails and create labels for them. Let me see. Are there any questions so far? I don't see any in the chat box.
Hey, Brooke, you had a question. Hey, it's Bonnie. Just to review, if you could just like one more time walk through how you create a task.
Absolutely. So let me go back through. So how to create a task. So I'm going to click out of this. So if I am in my personal Gmail account, your task is off to the side, and there's a little icon right here. It's a blue, and it looks like it has like a white pencil in it, and you'll click that. And I have some existing tasks here. To add a task, you have a blue plus button that says add task, and you're going to click that. Oop, and I'm adding several, but let's say I'm going to do like grad school. And I can add that task. That task is there. And then if I want to add more details or dates and times, so I can add details about a due date or an assignment I have. And then I can add a date that whatever I am talking about is due. So let's say it's due here, and I am trying to assign that. I can also add subtasks in it. So say I have this for grad school, I have a paper due, but then also I need to submit something else. I can add a subtask within this category of tasks of grad school as well, which is super relevant to me right now. And it will show up there. Bonnie, is that what you meant for me to go over again? Is there anything you would like to add?
Oh, no. I think it's great. Like I always use tasks like I have a little bitty water bill. I know it sounds specific, and I always forget about it. And so I always put it on my task to make sure I pay it. So it can be really helpful. I also use the snooze button. You won't be testing on that, but like, you know how something's going to go on sale and you're like, oh, I'm going to need this email. I put it on snooze till that day.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. the snooze button is cool because I always try to get inbox 0. I'm always trying to get it down to 0.
Right.
No, that's great. And then the labels. So you totally, though, when you take the test, you are going to have to do a task and label them. So if you just want to, you have a question about if you could just like show the labels again, and then how to add an attachment.
Very awesome. Yeah. So how to add an attachment. So let's go with the add an attachment again real quick. So if I'm going to add an attachment to an email, I'm going to click right here with compose. And so you can see, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So if I'm going to email it to someone, let me close this out. I can add an attachment at the bottom. It's next to send. So you have where you can have your formatting settings here. This is attach a file. This is a file if it is from your computer that you want to add to it. So you can attach a file from your computer this way. This was a picture I saved for something I was doing, but you can attach a file that way. Or you can go down, you can insert a link. So say you wanted to share a YouTube video this way and you already grabbed that link, you can go ahead and copy and paste the link into there. And then also this Google Drive. So you have a little, like another little mini Google Drive. So if you click that and it'll pop up, your Google Drive will pop up, and you can insert that. And that will pop up, and you will select it and select insert, and it'll select directly into your message. So that's how you insert a link or a document into an email that you were going to send directly into the email. Okay, and now let me go back because I am in here. All right, so now what we're going to go back over is how to do the labels. And so whenever you're trying to do the labels, so you can label things right here. See, there's a little label button right here, and you can click the label, or you can right click, and you can add it to a label that you already have created. So say this was shopping, and I can add it to that shopping label that I already have, or say I want to create a new one. I can select create a new label, and I can label it as another topic. And I will select it. And now newsletter is showing here. It is highlighted, so you know that this label is showing somewhere else into another category, and you can select it, and you will see that that email is also there as well. Let me check the chat box. Bonnie, would you like to add anything about that? About the labels?
I have a question, Ms. Jones.
Yes, ma'am.
About the labels. Once you submit a certain label, like newsletter, will Google automatically, like if you have an email that has the word newsletter in it, will it automatically go to that? Or is this something that we manually have to place in once we create the label?
There are settings to where you can do that with these categories. I'll be honest, that's something I have trouble with getting it to automatically do that. Bonnie, do you have something that you could add?
I do. I have an answer. It does not, and it is super frustrating. And you, along with me and the other people who hate this, should reach out to Google and remind them we want this feature. The only thing we have now, like she said, it says categories. You do have to go in and like manually label it at this point. Like I said, you can change those categories, which is I have updated and stuff. I try to keep it where it's helpful for me, but yeah, they haven't updated that feature yet. So now, and that's a great question. We always get it, and it reminds me to go to the suggestion box for Google and tell them. But it will not do that as of now. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And then the other thing that you can do directly in your in your Gmail account, I'm sorry guys, is you can start a meeting or you can join a Google Meet directly here. So this would be a live meeting that you're starting here. And don't want to do that right now, but I just wanted to give you to show you that you can do that. Down here where you have you in the chat and plus, you can chat people here. That's my other account. And you can invite them that way to do just a chat box here. Let's go back into our, so we learned how to do our tasks. My computer's lagging and not switching screens. There it goes. So we added the tasks, we created labels, and now we're trying to initiate a Google Meet invitation directly into Gmail. So how to do this? So when you're in, you can send a Google Meet invitation directly from your Gmail. So you select the plus button next to your name and type the name of the email or phone number to the respondent. So let's go back into here. My computer is
Brooke, I have the same problem when I'm presenting.
I know, thank you.
I bought a new router. Like I bought a fancy router so my bandwidth could keep up with like the slide deck and the presenting and everything. Not just you.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Bonnie, do you think that you could help out with this one? With this? My computer is like it's like wigging out a little bit.
Absolutely.
I can.
You want me to share my screen or
Yes, please?
Let me pull up the Gmail. All right.
I think what it is too is my husband's home today and he's working and he's like computer engineering.
Yeah, you need to go kick him off.
Yeah, and has like his 4 computers going too.
Yeah, you gotta kick him off. Tell him no.
Yeah.
Okay, let me share my screen.
Here, I'll hit.
And just let me know, because I'm going to share my whole screen, so let me know
Okay,
if anybody has any questions. All right, so I'm going to show you just like I said, just review some things. And you were showing categories, right, Brooke?
Yes, and then I was going to move into how to do a Google Meet invitation directly from Gmail.
Yeah. All right, so this is one of my far too many Gmails. And I'm sorry, I'm getting it pulled up. So yeah, you have different categories like forums, like shopping, those kinds of things. I saw there was a question about it. Like you can edit those slightly in categories. Like I say, I just saw there was a question about it. So I don't have it, like this one is set up differently than other ones. But you go to categories right here, and this is where you can kind of adjust it. I'm lagging too, like I said, because it's not just you. But then I have my social and I can kind of manage that under this right here. So you just kind of go in, you can change the color, you can hide it. And that's just how you edit those. You don't have like unlimited, like the AI has to know what you're looking for. So it kind of limits what categories you can do. All right, so if I want to start a meeting from Meet, I go over here under this left-hand pane where everything else is, under Compose, categories, all that. I go down to Start a Meeting, and see I can start it straight from there. I'm not going to start a meeting because that would be like the matrix, a meeting within a meeting. And then to chat, I just hit right here. See right here, I have a button that says chat. Let's see, I'm trying to think of somebody. So you type in the chat, she's going to come up. See, and this is going to be a problem you're going to have if you're logged in your EBR. It's we have some issues with that. We have it blocked for obvious reasons. So then I can just type in the email. It's just like a email that they can respond to quickly. And so that would be where my chat lives. Right here. Pretty simple. I use them a lot. Like you think like, why would you use this? For like big groups of people that like talk and respond a lot. Like, I don't know, if you're taking a vacation with a big group, you can make a little chat for that. I'm in some organizations that aren't EBR. We have like little side chats on Hangouts chat. So everything you need in Google is just all the way to the left right here. It's where you can, and this is a new feature, creating a meet straight from here. So you can start a meet and join a meet straight from here. And then this is where you would go to chat right here at the bottom. And you can scroll up and down. All right, do you have any questions about that?
Hey, there's one in here. It says labels and categories are the same, right?
No, categories is going to be this big, like it's going to divide them into a whole different section. You can see like updates, forums. Labels are just like the little, the markers on here. Like just a little marker. I don't label things as much as I star things. Mm-hmm. But like a label is just gonna go on that. See, like create new. I have this one set up a little different than the regular one. But yeah, so labels and categories are slightly different.
Yeah, and then there's a question and it says, can you schedule a meet for another time? And then you can schedule a meeting through calendar, but not directly from Gmail.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If I want to schedule a meeting, I would use calendar. Exactly. Yeah, no, if you hit meet right here, it's going to go straight to a meeting. The only way to schedule that I know of for right now is in calendar. That's the way I do it. You're not going to have to deal with categories or anything like this. The only thing you have to do on the test is put that label.
Yeah, Gmail's pretty much it's pretty simple.
I mean, but and it's something we all use a lot. I've got, like I said, I've got 27 accounts here. This is what categories is, these tabs. Where it uses artificial intelligence to read and then categorize it for you, and then labels would be something smaller, like that you do manually. So like I might, yes, what you got?
Okay, I'm sorry. Could you, while you're on labels, before you all move on, I know there are a lot of questions. How would you add more emails? Like if you're having a label, how do you add more of those same types of emails, like for shopping? How do you add all of the shopping labels, all of the shopping emails under a label? I saw how you create and you make one, but how do you add more?
Good. Okay. First, I had to do this. Like I said, I don't use it a lot. If I select a bunch at once or any, do you see this little button right here that says labels?
Yes. Okay.
I hit that and I select my label. And I'll hit, well, I had these selected already. It's going to take whichever ones I select. I use starred more than anything, but I hit here, label, apply, and it'll put that label for me. So it's this little tab button that adds it to a label.
Okay, thank you.
No problem, no problem.
Mhm.
Like I said, I got more than one. So I know at EBR, you don't have to worry about not being able to access because you'll be in that Google account that they're going to make for you. So you don't have to worry about that. Brooke, did I leave anything out?
No, I think
So
that
may I ask a question?
Yes, please do. Please do.
So the only thing we have to do for the test is to create the label. We don't have to do anything with category.
you'll have
Nope.
to usually add a task. From what I've seen,
Yep.
you'll have to add a task. You'll have to create label something and compose a message.
Exactly. You don't have to mess with the categories. We got off task. I'm sorry. I always do that.
No, you're totally fine.
I'm so sorry.
But
you also, if you have a Gmail, you've seen those. So now you know. But that is Google using artificial intelligence to read your email. So
I find that the labels aren't as helpful in real life as they seem like they would be.
Yeah, they're working on making it where all of them, like if I want to label all the things that have to do with my daughter, I need to turn my camera on because I'm totally talking with my hands and y'all can't see me. But so like everything has to do with my daughter, school or whatever. I could make a Sadie label and all those things could go to that label. They're working on that. We just haven't gotten there yet. So as soon as somebody makes something, I'll let you know. So I'm gonna unshare my screen because we are right at 10:30. So
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Was reading the chat box to make sure. All right.
But yeah, so when you schedule a meeting, what generate codes for students to join? Yes, I would do that through Google Classroom if possible, because then they will be able to access that before you get in there. So if you schedule a meeting using Google Calendar, that will stay live. So they will be able to get there before you. So yeah, just be careful of that. I normally would use Google Classroom to schedule with students.
Right. It is exactly 10:30, so I guess we will pass it on to the next presenter. It was great talking to you guys today about Gmail.
Good morning, everyone. This is Felicia Gath. I'm also a technology facilitator, and I will be presenting to you all on Calendar. So I want you to relax because this is probably not as detailed as what you just went through with email. There's so many different capabilities that Google provides us. And so I'm going to show you the basics for using Calendar. Unless you are someone that is really, really creative, like Bonnie, I would say you may or may not need to use many things outside of this at this point. So I'm going to share my screen.
She caught me. My calendar's insane. It's too much. I got a lot on mine. Don't ever look at it.
And do not judge me for all of my tabs that I have open once I share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
We see it, Miss Gass. You're doing great.
Woo-hoo. Okay, so now with presenting calendars, I would say Google Calendar. These are the things that you're going to be have to be able to do for the assessment, and the major things that you would need to know in order to use Calendar successfully. So during this training, we're going to create an event in a calendar. We're going to share a calendar. We're going to set customized reminder notifications for events. send a Google Meet invitation, attach a shared Google Doc to a calendar event. We're going to also use the calendar to check for availability and schedule meetings. So with that, we're going to find a time that matches up with someone else's calendar and actually coordinate a time that we can both meet together. So with that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch screens and I'm going to go directly into Google Calendar. So if you would like to join me to follow along, you may want to switch over to open an additional screen so that you all can actually practice along with me. So here I am, sorry, I'm already. Here I have my calendar open. And what we're going to do, the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to create an event in calendar. So in order to create an event in calendar, we're going to create a calendar first. So the first thing that you have to do is I need you to go up to the main bar. And before we even get started, we want to think about what view do you want your calendar to be seen on? Do you want to see just that one day? Do you want to see the week at a glance? Or do you want to see the entire month? This drop down gives you the option of how far in advance you want to see your calendar or how much of a limited view you want to have of your calendar. I have mine set on week, so I can see see Monday through Friday of that particular week. If I needed to zoom in on a particular day, I can go back up to that tab and go down to day, and it'll switch up, and all I can see is what I have planned for today. So it depends on what your default may be on in order to determine if you need to switch over to a week or a month. I'm going to keep mine on week at this point in time. So in order to go to the, in order to create a calendar, you need to go up to the setting menu, which is this little icon up here, and click on it. Click on settings from there. And then you'll go to the left side of your screen and scroll down to where it says add calendar. Your options from add calendar will be subscribe to calendar, create a new calendar, or browse calendar of interest if you have multiple calendars set up. So you're going to click on create new calendar. Once you click on create new calendar, you're going to give that calendar a name. So I'm going to, for the sake of what we're doing right now, I'm just going to put practice Google Calendar as my title. Once I have my title set up, I'm going to click create calendar. And once I click create calendar, I'm going to go back up in the top left corner to the settings arrow and go back to the calendar. Does anyone have any questions at this point? I can't see the chat box, so we do have Miss Shalette and Miss Patin that is on. And so if you ladies would check the chat box and let me know if I need to stop or if something needs to be responded to, I would greatly appreciate that.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Can you tell me where Sunday and Saturday are and how you can add them?
Let's see. If I'm not mistaken, I've said if you add the month, but
look, Miss Gath, keep going down. Go back to where you were. All right, click down. Keep going down. See where it says show weekends. Keep one more. There you go.
Okay.
All right, good deal. Thank you.
Let's go back to the week. And so now I have my weekends on there as well. So now what I need to do is I'm going to go down to where it says my calendars here on the left-hand side. And I'm going to scroll down until I get to the calendar that I want to look at, which is my practice my Google Calendar, which is the calendar that I just created. All the other calendars that you see on my screen are different things that I've created in the past. And if I wanted to overlap those calendars with the calendar that I'm using now, I would just make sure that I have the box next to that calendar checked. And so then you'll see things that I have scheduled for my weekly work schedule. But if I only want to view that calendar, I would make sure that only that calendar is checked for me. So now that I have created my calendar, the next thing that I want to do is I want to create an event. And so in order to create an event, you can do it two ways. You can either go up here and click the create button, or you can go to the specific day and time that you want to create the event, and it will allow you to create. So if I clicked the create button here, it's going to give me the option to create an event. So I would give it a title. I would select the time for it. I would, if it was a different location, I could put the location so I can remember what the location is. And then also if I wanted to add a Google Meet video conferencing, then I can select that option. I know that you all were talking about that with email, about setting up a Google Meet conference that you couldn't do it through the email, but you had to do it through the calendar. This is how you would be able to do that. So that's if I click the create button. If I go to my calendar and let's just say tomorrow I wanted to schedule a meeting, I would double click on that slot, and it already has the time for me, the date. And so what I would have to do is give it a title. I can add a location. I can also add notifications, which we're going to go over in a little bit. And then I can also over here add guests. If I wanted to invite someone to be able to have access to my calendar, I can put their information in there, and then that way they'll be able to see my calendar. So if we need to coordinate dates or if we need to coordinate times, they'll have access to it when they're trying to set up something to coordinate an actual event or time with you. So for here, like I said, we could do it either way. And if I want to click out and go back to my calendar, just click on the X. So we can go to create event. It'll give you the little pop-up box. I will say that I'm going to create a team meeting time. So I want to do that team meeting today. So I would make sure that I have my date on there. I have the time from 11 to 12. If I wanted to add someone, I can look through here. I'm going to add the Ed Tech team to my meeting so that they'll have access to my calendar. I would say if I wanted to add additional people, I could add additional people. And then I would go to more options here, because this screen is just kind of a pop-up setup. If you go into the actual calendar, like I did just a few minutes ago, you have more advanced options that you can choose from there. So if you go here, then you can also add a Google Meet video conferencing. And so once I push that, it'll have a link that will be added to it. And then if I wanted to add notifications to remind me about this meeting. I can say, notify me 10 minutes before. I can change minutes to hours or days. It just depends on how soon I need a reminder or how many reminders I want to add. So I could say 10 minutes before. I can say also being, I'll say 30 minutes before. So that way I'll have 2 reminders that will let me know that this meeting is about to start. And so on your calendar and even on your email, you'll get these alerts and these notifications that usually come up in the right-hand corner of your screen to remind you that a meeting is about to start, and whatever your notifications are, that's the time that they will send those notifications for you.
Once you click on add video to the meet, it'll automatically pop in there. You don't have to add a code or add anything else other than just click on add video.
It's going to create it for you.
Oh, okay.
So like I said, right here where it says join with Google Meet, I would say once you send it and share it, they're going to receive a link that they can click on when they get the notification or when they receive the email in order to go into the meeting.
Thank you.
And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save my event. And it says, would you like to send invitation emails to Google Calendar guests? I'm going to say yes, so that way that they will receive the email to let them know about the event. And then I go back to my calendar. And as you can see here, it's identified on my calendar. And see, as I click it on my calendar, all I have to do is I would click on to the join the Google Meet meeting, and it's going to take me into the meeting. Any questions about that so far?
Hey, Ms. Gath, it's Ms. Patan. We had a question in the chat about, do they ask you to color code your task? That's just kind of like an extra organizational tool that they give us, but no, you don't actually, you're not required to do it on the test, but it's something that Ms. Gath uses for, organization.
And that's because Ms. Gath has a whole bunch of calendars that she barely uses. So it just makes it pretty. But it also does help me when it comes to showing and overlapping my calendars. And so the different colors will identify which calendar I am actually looking at and which event it goes to. But if you want to color code it, if you hover over the title of the calendar that you're looking at and you see the 3 little dots, I think Ms. Patan calls them the chocolate chips. If you click on those, it will give you the option to select a color for that particular calendar so that you can color code them.
Hey, Ms. Taha, this is Ms. Taha. I'll have a question about if I put a description for that event, how would the students see it? Like, they see it in the email or?
Well, I would say this would be not. I would say I don't know that you would be sharing that much with the students. So I think it's just a factor of you putting in something so that you will have notes in order to do it. I would say, Ms. Patana, Ms. Shalette, do you have something that you want to?
Yeah. So, you got it, Bonnie?
Yeah. The description, they'll show whatever you write in there in the description will show up on their calendar and on that notification. But like another way you could do it, if you wanted to add the Google Meet at the last minute and then update so the students wouldn't be able to get in before you, that would be an option if you were trying to schedule it this way. With students, you could make the event, not add the join with conferencing, and then go back and add it like 5 minutes when you're ready to start it. So, but they will see in the description, the link to the meet will be in the description, and then whatever you type in there will all show up on their calendar on the
Okay.
event.
So it's a good
Right.
idea to put like, get ready with a pencil and paper. I need you to have this.
Absolutely, yeah. You can put an attachment. I know, Ms. Gath, and I'm so sorry if I missed it. You do have to put an attachment on a calendar event. So like you can add an agenda or whatever they need to the actual calendar event.
Okay, thank you.
So if you notice on the left side of Miss Gaff's screen, she has several calendars, and I think she mentioned that you can click a check mark if you want those events to show up on your main screen or if you want them to overlap. So you can kind of you can filter it out if it gets overwhelming. And if you there is a connection between your calendars and Google Classroom. So some of her calendars on the left side are calendars that synchronize with the things that are on Google Classroom. So that is a way that you can communicate with your students. So you can add events for the students that are within Google Classroom. So it's important to remember, I'm sure you guys know that not all of our students have email, so we wouldn't invite them using an email address. But if you want to post announcements on your Google Classroom to say, check your calendar for our Google Meet, it definitely will show up. And when Ms. Gass can click on one of her events that she created, we will have all in the information that they need within that box on their calendar there.
Okay.
Cool.
Any other questions?
Specifically for the test, what is there? What do we need to know?
For the test would be basically what we were just going through. You would need to know how to create a calendar. You would need to know how to create an event, how to set the notifications, add a guest, as well as how to add a Google Meet meeting. And then what we're about to go over is also being able to do an attachment. And so from being able to do that attachment to, for that particular email or that particular event, so that you'll be able to send that along with them. So what we will do is, I'm just going to go into a different thing too. So here is my calendar. Let's just say that I wanted to schedule a follow-up meeting. I have my time from 3 to 4. I would say, oh, it's on the 16th. I'm sorry, guys. Let me go to one that discard that. Okay, I want to do a follow-up meeting here. I'm gonna do more options so that I can have all of the things that I need to add to my calendar. Follow-up meeting. And so what I want to do here is, if I need to do a Google Meet conferencing with it, I'm going to click on that. I would say if I wanted to add the location, which is going to be virtual, I don't have to worry about that. If I wanted to add notifications, that meeting is tomorrow. So I want to say, I want to be notified an hour before. I'm gonna add another notification to remind me 15 minutes before the meeting. And so I have my notifications set. If I needed to add a document or something that I wanted to share that we were going to discuss, let's say that I wanted to share the last meeting's minutes and the notes that we took on next steps, I would go down here to the paperclip. And if you click on the paperclip, which is very similar to the same thing that you would do in an email, I'm sorry, I hit the wrong side. I would say click on there, and then you would determine where you want to get whatever it is you want to email and select that particular thing. So let's just say I wanted to share. And so now I have that attached. If you can see it down here in the left-hand bottom corner, where my attachment shows up to say that I have an actual attachment to this calendar. And then I would go over here to say which guest I want to send this to. I'm going to do it again to, I'm going to send it to Ms. Patan.
DPATIN1.
Okay. I thought it would come up automatically, but. Okay, so that is my guest that I want to invite to my actual event. Once I have all of that information in, I have set my date, I have my time set, I have the Google Meet set up so that we can chat together virtually. I have my notifications to send me a reminder 1 hour before and then 15 minutes before. And then I also have the attachment that I want us to refer to while we're meeting. And then I have it sent to the person that I'm actually meeting with. Up here, I'll go and click on save. And it says, would you like to send invitation emails to Google Calendar guests? Yes, I want to send the invitation to my guests. And so now my follow-up meeting is set up with all of the details that I needed in order to make sure that Ms. Patan and I will be able to have a successful meeting. And so also I have shared that I have to share my calendar with Ms. Patan so that we can also be able to collaborate and make sure that our times meet. And so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a new event. I'm going to share my calendar with Ms. Patan, and then we're going to find a time that the two of us can meet with each other in order to do future meetings about this. So I will go over to create an event. I want to add my guest, which I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna add Ms. Patan again.
We have some great questions while you do that in the chat box. One really good one is Ms. Clark says, will she see your whole calendar or just available time slots? So while doing this, and y'all pardon me, my little coworker is here today. She will just see, or the person that you are share, and I'm doing quotations but y'all can't see me. If you are busy, it'll show that. It won't give you a detailed view of the calendar. So they won't know your business, if that answers your question. Also, we have a good question that says, if it's attached to our Google Classroom, do we need to add guests like we did in Microsoft Teams? No, absolutely not. That's a really great point, that Google is seamless. All of these apps work together. So when you had your students join the Google Classroom, it automatically gave them a Google Calendar that was the name of your class. So you don't have to do anything extra there. All right, Ms. Gath.
Okay, so what I did, I'm gonna go back and do it again, just so that I'm sure you all were paying more attention to Ms. Patan. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to create event. I'm going to go to the more options. And from here, instead of where it says event details, I'm going to go to find a time, because now I want to be able to see if I can find a time that Ms. Patan and I are both available. And so I need to add my guest, which would be Ms. Patan. So now I've added my guest. And so we want to see if we have an overlapping, or we have a time that we can both, if we have a time that we can both meet with each other. So I have here, I would say, and so now I want to, I forgot I didn't add my title, so let me add my title. And so I want to see, I would say, first of all, I don't want it to be by day. I want it to be by week, because that way I have access to see multiple days, and it's not just for that particular day, in case she doesn't have any times available for that particular day. So now that I have set that up, I'm going to hit save. And as you can see, hold on, I'm sorry. As you can see here, I would say that it has shown where Ms. Patan has things already planned, and the purple is showing where I have things planned. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look and see, and since Ms. Patan and I do not get off until 5 o'clock, we both have from 4 to 5 to available. I'm going to click that square in order to select that time. That will be the time that we both can meet. I'm going to hit save and send an invitation. So my meeting with Patan is scheduled for this afternoon from 4 to 5 p.m. and is set up on my calendar here. Does anyone have any questions? So that's basically all that you all will have to do as far as being able to be successful on the Google certification for calendars. I'm going to go back to the slide deck. So these were the things again that you needed to know, was create an event in a calendar. Before we even did that, we learned how to create a calendar, share a calendar, set customized reminders and notifications for the event. We sent a Google Meet invitation. We attached a shared Google Doc to the calendar. We also use the calendar to check for availability and schedule meetings. So if you all would go to slide 178. This will be your Google performance task for tonight to practice with. The great thing is that they gave you all a little surprise. That video that is attached to that slide kind of walks you through the steps. So you have that guidance as well to be able to do things. So hopefully with that guidance and with the directions for the scenario that you all are practicing with, you should have no problem. You're going to just follow everything that the directions say, even as far as where you're going to share your information. And so from there, we'll be able to see, or if you have any questions, then make sure that you write those down. And so those things can be covered. Or this afternoon from 4 to 5, we have office hours. And so if you have any questions about this particular task, then you can ask the individual that will be supporting during office hours online this afternoon. So you would just come right back to the Google Meet in order to do that.
Excuse me, I do have a question. Thank you for presenting. My question is, if I wanted to use the calendar as to make a pacing guide, so if I wanted to do that, am I able to take a copy of the calendar and type it in, maybe like to the Google Doc or something? Because that was something that I struggled with last school year. I couldn't find out how to use the Google Classroom to even like make a copy so I could add in stuff for my pacing guide.
The Google to add on to the Google Calendar?
Yes.
Okay. I would say, Ms. Patin, you have any suggestions?
Well, was it just like having, getting used to having like that layout of a desk calendar and writing things in that you kind of need to get used to?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, Ms. Gaff, if you don't mind, I'll share my screen. Okay. And I do see a few other questions we can go over in the chat box as well. All right, guys. So this is my calendar. This is not on the test. So just make sure we know that. You have the option of exporting your calendar and printing it out, if that'll be helpful. Over on the left side, you can see all of these calendars that I belong to, and you know my favorite, settings. The 3 little dots, aka chocolate chips. So I'll click on that, and then in the settings and sharing section, you can import or export a calendar. And so this is what you would need to select if you want to export any one of these calendars and print it out if you want a paper version. It also, you might have to like adjust your printer settings if you wanted to like print out a paper version of your calendar for you write on to write on. Is that helpful, Ms. Foreman?
It is. Thank you.
Okay, another question we had in the chat box was, how do we share the entire calendar? So I'll use this calendar right here. It's my Defense Against the Dark Arts class. So maybe I want to share this calendar. Like my students have access to it in their calendar since it's my Google Classroom. But if I wanted to maybe share the calendar with an administrator for them to join in and see what we're doing in class or something like that, I can go again to the chocolate chips right here and then settings. And then I'm going to scroll down here. And so you can see right here, I have share with specific people. Right now, it's only shared with me. See my picture right here. And since it's a Google Classroom, what these mean are, it's also going to be shared if there was a co-teacher of the Google Classroom of this class, but there isn't. It's just me. I can add people. So go ahead and add Miss Gaff. There she is. I've shared things with her before, so it recognizes me. And then I can give her permission on how much directly I want her to see. So when she made the event earlier, and I accepted the event, so it just we can coincide our calendars, but it just so that I was busy. But if I want her to have to know all of my business, if she was my administrator, I can set the permissions that I can make changes to events. I can see all of the event details. She can make changes and manage sharing, and she can do all kinds of things with my calendar. So right here, the default is set only free and busy. So if you are available and not situation. So this is the default. So you would have to go in the calendar, share with that person, and give them more rights in this area right here. Okay, I click send. And it's going to send her a calendar invitation as email that she has access to that calendar. Does anybody have any more questions about calendar that we can answer? So today, after I'm so excited. We have just a little bit of today's class left. We have Google Groups, which is pretty short, and then we have a Q&A section. So while we're doing Google Groups, if you want to start thinking about questions you had from the previous couple of days, we can answer those at the end as well. So are you guys ready for Google Groups? Okay, so ready or not, Google Groups is pretty easy and it's super fun. So Google Groups is a way that you can gather groups of people together and that have a Google account, and you can send out. Let me tell my coworkers to be quiet. Okay. So we can make web forum, but it's a communication tool. Hold on, you guys. So embarrassing. Let me get the bag. Okay, I think we're good. Sorry about that. The things from working from home, right? Okay, so back to Google Groups. So Google Groups is an awesome way that we can make groups, for example, groups of parents, groups of coworkers, groups of students, that we can send out email information, things through email, or if we wanted to make a web forum. It's a little bit different and has better perks within it than just making like a contact list in your email. So let's go to Google Groups. So you guys are really good at getting to the Google tools because you've been with us all week. So give me a couple of ways I can probably get to Google Groups. Just guess.
Go to the waffle.
Yes, we can go to the waffle. I see someone said the app launcher. So that is the same. This is the best. So if you haven't used Google Groups in a while or never at all, it might not be in your, the recently used apps. I can see right here, I've used Classroom a lot, so mine is at the top. So you might have to scroll down just a little bit and find it. One thing I don't know if you guys realized is you can use your Mickey Mouse hands and you can kind of manipulate the order of your apps if you want in your waffle. So that is a good way you can get to Google Groups. And then remember, you can always just type in groups at the top, groups.google.com. If I just typed in groups though, Google loves itself. It's so seamless. It's the first thing that it thinks about. So if I just typed in groups, it would take me to the Google groups as the first thing in the search box. So if you're following along with me, you can go ahead and open up a new tab and type in groups.google.com. And things kind of look old school. Now, I'll tell you a little secret. In a few months, Google Groups is going to be all brand new. But right now, you don't, since you guys are probably going to take the test within the next month, right? You don't have to worry about anything of the information that we're sharing today is going to change. Okay, so don't worry about that. I promise you that if Google Groups changes in a couple of months, it's going to be better. Because this, like, even you can tell the font is kind of old school, right? Okay, so let's look at it. So right away, you can see on the home page, we're on home. You can see at the left side, it's red, it says home. That here's some good things that making a Google group can do. So you can discuss, have all your discussions in one place and organize it by with favorites and folders. Choose to follow along via email and quickly find unread posts, expressing yourself, using rich text editing to customize your post with fonts and colors and images, give people within the group different power to power up the discussion and lead the discussion. It's speedy and it's mobile friendly. It's cell phone friendly. So I'm going to leave this tab here and go back to the slide deck. I have it open. Give me a sec. I'm going to go to my recent documents, and here's the slide deck for today. Anybody want to shout out and let me know what slide groups is on? I'm going to use a table of contents when it comes up. It's right here. Thank you. Slide 161. Okay, so let's take a look at what you need to know for the test. Okay, so what do I need to know about groups? You need to know how to create a group, choose your group type, invite members to the group, start a new topic in emails or in forms, set basic permissions for group members, and join a group. Just remember that in your slide deck, there are little GIFs and step-by-step instructions on how you do all of these things. And even at the end, there's a video. So going back to groups. So let's see. It might be super obvious, right? How do we create a group? We got it. You click on the red button that says create group. And we can give our group a name. So you can say, give it a demo name. Say maybe demo Google practice. And notice as I started typing the name of my group, it started to generate a group email address. And you'll notice, so this would be the email address if I wanted to directly email all of the people in our group. And then right here is a domain name. So the group that we're creating today for practice are people that are in the ebrschools.org, domain, email domain. You can give your group a description. And I just totally made that up. You can choose your group's primary language. So this is the language emails from the Google Groups service will be sent in. So if you have, you choose to receive daily notifications of all of the forum things that happen in that group, it will be within in that language. So you can set that. I'll leave it to English. Okay, now we can set the group type. So group types are settings for your pre-configured settings for your Google group and make configuring your group a little easier. You can always change the specific settings and enable an additional feature to match your needs. So we're going to select the group type. And as we click on them, we have a little description of what each one is and what the perks to choosing that type of the group. So an email list is just exactly what it is. An email list allows users to post from the web or through email. It's just a group of people that you can bug together and shoot out like, quick emails. A web form gets a little bit deeper where you can allow people to interact within the group and have like really engaging interactive discussions on the web. This web feature optimizes, it enables moderation tools. So you can give each member certain permissions on how much they can post or if they can reply within the web form. There's a Q&A forum, which is pretty much, sending, as the moderator, you can send out questions and have your members respond. It's a little different than the web forum. And then a collaborative inbox. So the one that you'll have to do is on the test is an email list. So we're going to set our demo for that one. The next thing is on the test for setting the basic permissions. So how do you want your group to be on the internet and how much you want to be visible to each user. So here we want for all organization members to be able to see what is posted in the group. Here, then we can get a little bit deeper how you want each member to, if you want them to all be managers of the group, that means they can delete posts and such and post at their will. And you can choose these options for what you need. And then it gets a little bit more, all of these are about permissions here. So then we go ahead and click on create. And there we go. So congrats, our Google group has been created and we can get started by creating a new group. If we wanted to, you can click on these right here and it will take us to Google's always awesome tutorials. I'm gonna click on OK to get it out of the way. All right, so noticing all of our buttons at the top, we're gonna go ahead and over some of these buttons a little bit later, but going all the way over to the right, you'll see a gear which shows up on most Google Tools apps. But these just the display settings, once you get more posts or actually some posts within your group, you can just kind of make it aesthetically for how you like it by changing the display. Okay, there is that help. That's always awesome. If you like quick shortcuts using your keyboard, that's there. Theme just kind of changes the layout again to make it look how you want it to. But going back to the stuff that we need to know on the test, we need to then add some members. So that is not not as obvious as everything usually is, but it's right here where it says manage members. Okay. So you can see I'm only person in this group right now. I'm the owner of it, but we're going to go all the way over to the left side to this menu right here under members. And there's a couple of ways that we can have people, either we can invite them or directly add them. So for the test, you will invite members to join this group. So simple, you'll just put your group member that you want to add to this email box of their email address. You can see I correspond with Ms. Haney several times a week, so it automatically knew her. So I didn't have to even fill in the rest of that email address. You type a welcome message. And then I would click on, get out of the way. I would click on send invites. So she's going to get an email address of the invite. So I'm going to click on done. Another way that you can, a person can become in a group. And remember, I went to manage members. I can directly add members to a group. Now, I'd be careful with this, you know, I'm sure you guys are not going to randomly add people to email groups, but just be careful with this setting right here about just emailing anybody, adding anybody to any group, because this would be a way to add them to a group without their consent, and then they would start getting, if they really didn't want to be a group, they would start getting emails and such without you know, that they didn't join in. So that would be another option. Right here under direct add, I can click on outstanding invitations. And I can see in this box right here, if I have anybody who has invited me to a group to join a group and I haven't added it to my group portal, or if I have someone I'm waiting for to accept. So you can see this was Miss Haney. And then join request. This is if someone had sent me an invite. All right, so going back to what we need to know. Creating your group, we got that. We chose our group type. We invited a member to a group. Let's start a new topic. So we're going to keep going with email because that is what we have to know how to do. So let's go back. I'm going to click on my group name. And super easy, I'm going to go ahead and click a new topic. So this is my first post in this email group. So I'm going to say, welcome to the group, and it could be my group message. So you have some options. You can attach a file if this is a faculty group and you want to send them some beginning of the year information. I'm just making that up. You can attach something that is either in your computer, or see, it's kind of old. So you would select files you had created and you can drop it there. So you would think Google would be as seamless as like this would look through my Google Drive, but this is a pain right here. I'm sure that's one of the updates that they're going to have, is this selecting files from my Google Drive. But you can, if you'd like to, add some attachments and files to this message right here. And you can, in the text box, you can proceed to type your message, and you have all of the basic editing tools like you know, making your labels and headers. You can change the color. You don't get lots of great colors with this, you know, this is basic. And you can add pictures if you want to. Pictures do come from Google. You can make a search there. You can add a link and do all of that jazz that you have in the very basic word processing programs. You do that, and then you don't forget to click on post, or if you don't like it, click on discard. And there we go. All of the people who are within the group got that message from me. So you can do a couple of other things, and you can manage group, which is if you want to, just goes back to that first page where we were creating, and it was giving me, I can change anything that was in that first page. Like I can change the language, I can change the type of group I want it to be, and all of that jazz. So going back at the top for buttons, Next to new topic, where we start a new message, I have my refresh button. You know, that just helped, that definitely has helped me with my tech problems today. That just kind of clears, refreshes my page to see if my internet is lagging behind, see anything that's new. Here, I can mark all as read. So if it's still showing up as a message that I haven't seen, but I know I've seen it, I can just go ahead and click mark as read if other people are actually posting or not, just myself. I have an action button here, which just gives me a couple more options. I can even ban people from posting to the group if I wanted to. You can filter through all of your posts once you get a lot of them. And then going back to these buttons right here, you can manage your group. We did that one. Manage members. I'm still the only one, but you can change roles of the people who are within the group. So if I wanted to say I wanted to give control over to Ms. Haney, I wanted her to be the manager of this group and be able to have all of the permissions, I could from right here in manage group. Okay. Let's see if we got everything we need to know. All right, so we also set basic permissions. Let's go down to our okay, so let's go down to our task for today. All right, so this one, I'm going to read it for you guys because it can get a little tricky. So this part, the first line, the first sentence is completely optional. It says create a random 6-digit number. We just put that you can, for example, use your birth date and copy the number and use it to create a name for your Google group. That's just like to make it unique. And so that would be like 7/23/87 Atchafalaya Basin. That's my birthday and the name of the group. Just that kind of, this is random. So it's create your group name and then following these steps. It's creating a new group and inviting ed tech team to join your group and typing your first post and welcome message. Okay. So groups is pretty easy. Let's go. I'm going to the chat and see if we have any groups questions.
I have a question.
Group questions? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whenever you create the group, I noticed that when you put the email, it has one domain for ebrschools.org. That's because you sign in with this email. So if I sign in with Gmail, I'm gonna have different domain because it was fixed.
Correct. So Ms. Haney, do you have, well, I think I have one.
I have one. I can log into it really fast. So for my sorority, I'm the corresponding secretary, yay me. And so I use Google account that she has with the EBR Schools domain. When I type in the group name, it now shows at googlegroups.com because this is a regular Gmail, regular Google account. It's nothing, it's not within a specific domain. Now for your EBR one, it may be a little bit longer because we have our subdomain within Google. So you're 100% correct. You will have your own you have a domain within the main Google universe, 100% correct.
Okay, so I have another question. When I'm adding people, can I add people with different domain, like emails? Like I can add somebody with Hotmail, somebody from Gmail.
With our EBR one, you cannot. It is secured, but on your personal one, yes, ma'am. Because in the one that I have for my sorority, we have people who have AOL, people who have Gmail, Yahoo, Cox, Bell South, even all different kind of email users or email accounts. Yes, ma'am, you can definitely upload anyone to your group that has a different email account. They do not have to have Gmail.
Okay, thanks.
Very welcome. I'm going to stop talking because clearly when I talk, my camera goes. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So, does anybody have any more groups questions before we just open it up to the whole week kind of questions? Okay, so I'm gonna go back to how you would delete a group. That's a good one. Hey, Miss Gillette, what's up?
I'm back.
Oh, hey. Okay, so to delete a group.
I have a question.
Okay, so we have we're gonna go ahead and show you. Well, before I delete a group, let me take your question, just in case I need to use this.
My question is that when we do the practice on this group, will we have automatic domain written in there that we have to go back and forth with? Because I had a problem with trying to utilize that.
Okay, so you mean like when you when you are completing the task assignment?
Right, correct.
Okay, so you remember if your problem was because the group was already created, if it wasn't unique?
Already created, and then it actually submitted to that email account or sent it to that, and it just bounced back or don't do anything.
Okay, right. So it's kind of like, so if for example, if so once I take the Gmail email address, Danielle Patin at gmail.com, nobody else can have that same email address. So that's why in the task we said try using your birth date, because hopefully nobody was born on the same day, same year in this group right here. And so it wouldn't give you that option. So you might come up with that issue when you're creating a group name, that somebody has already taken that name and made a group.
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right. So we did have a question that says, okay, so let's go to Ms. Miles' question that says how you would delete a group. So that is within settings, and I'm going to go down to group settings. And then I think, let's try some again. Let's go back. Haney and Shalette, I know y'all are here. Where is it?
I'm here. Just the only thing I would say is that if you look on the Google Roadmap, they're updating groups. So it might look a little different soon. It's like June 23rd. But don't be. It's the same. It's actually a little more streamlined.
Okay. All right. So I found it. So within the group, a little person with the gear, and I'm going to click on leave this group. And then I'm going to click refresh. That was it. Let's see. Maybe it's in memberships. Y'all know how to delete a group? I really have never done that before. Is it in group settings?
Yeah, go all the way down to advanced. Yeah, go to advanced under information.
Yep. Oh, here it is. Here it is.
They hide it. They don't want you deleting groups.
Okay, let's go through it again. Sorry about that, y'all. So on the left side, click on the group name. Then I'm going to go to settings, group settings, all the way down to advanced. And then we could delete this group. And I'm going to delete it now or forever hold my peace. Yes, I'll go ahead and delete it. It's gone. So if I try to click on it, it's still there. Crazy. Group settings.
Give it a second. Give it a second.
Give it a second. I'm gonna refresh again here.
Yeah, I want to refresh, and it may take
Refresh.
a second to kick in.
But the new groups is better, guys. The new groups is better. I'm telling you.
So yeah, it's gone. So
It's
I think the page
gone.
is set.
Yeah,
It's gone.
All right.
It takes
so
a
let's
second.
see. Y'all are so funny in this chat box. Okay, so all right. So now we're ready for questions for all, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here we go. Team, you ready?
I'm
Yes,
ready.
ma'am. We're on because my hair is now done. So I don't want anyone to think that's how I'm living my life every day. That's definitely not. But yes, any questions, you guys?
Miss
I have
Pate,
corona hair. Y'all don't want to see all this.
Yes, ma'am.
I am a twin, so can you give me another option?
What you mean?
With the birth date.
Oh wow, you're right.
Any date. I mean, we just set a
Yeah.
your phone number, or your old phone number when you were a kid or something. Just any numbers.
Okay.
Well, is your twin gonna be doing this assignment?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I can just change one thing. So this is like you guys. This is unique to you guys.
Yeah, just add another number.
Okay, thank you.
You can add. There's no limit to numbers. 6 is not like a limit. You can add 100 numbers. We're just trying to let you know that it has to be unique, and one of the fastest ways to make it unique is to add numbers.
All right. Thank you so much.
Miss Clark has a good. She said for one of you guys to use the birthday backwards. That's fun.
That's a good idea.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Miss Story, your test is paper-based when you try to go to register?
So we're going to go ahead and go over how to register and what's on the assessment, so we can kind of answer some of those questions you guys may have. I'm going to share my screen. So on the presentation on slide 14 is where all that information kind of lives. Every slide after that, I think up to maybe 23, 24 is how we walk you guys through how to register for the exam. Just to recap some things, don't forget that the current system criterion ends July 1st. So just be mindful of that, because the new system has stipulations like the lighting, the sounds, things like that can prevent you from finishing your exam. So we recommend you guys taking it on the current system so that you don't have to worry about any issues with the testing platform, okay? Also, going to registering, everyone's texting me at the same time. It's coming through my screen. Oh, thank you, Shalette. They changed it. Thank you. But just to make you comfortable with things that I know works the best. Criterion has been working for the past 3, 4, and 5 years. Use that system, because ProctorU is a new system. You never know what happens with a new system. It could glitch out. So just try to take it before July 1st if your time.
Well, they moved it to July 1st, 2021.
Oh,
you got a year now.
I saw that email. You're right.
Yeah.
So go ahead and register whenever you guys feel comfortable. It is on slide 15, Ms. Clark. So slide 15 is where all of that registration information lives. Also, don't forget, it is open internet. So you can, quote unquote, Google for your answers, okay? And or use the slide deck for assistance. It's $10. It's 3 hours long. You must have a device that has a webcam on it. It could be a computer or a laptop. Pro tip, make sure you are comfortable with that device and you are not, it's not a brand new device. You're not borrowing your son or your daughter's device, or you're not using one of the school's Chromebooks. Use a device that you are comfy with and you know how to use, and right click and use, and just the mouse, all of that jazz, because that can be another hindrance for you guys also. You must score 80% or higher. There's a variety of question types. Oh, thank you, Ms. Clark, they just stuck it in the chat box. Thank you, Ms. Patin. There are a variety of question types. 25-ish, multiple choice, drag, drop, select all that apply kind of questions. and then about 12 to 14 performance tasks. So that is there for you guys to test your knowledge. So it will be multiple question types, just how we require our kids to have that kind of capacity to answer multiple question types. The same thing applies for us and for you guys. When you register, so I'm going to actually walk you through the registration process. So, sorry, my dog has decided to just grab a toy right now and play with a toy. I'm so sorry. Today's just clearly a mess of a kind of day. But on slide 16, we have the steps on how to register to log into Google, of course, and then how to get to your test taker account. If you don't want to go through those steps, simply Google level 1 Google certification. And we'll put the direct link on here if it's not already on here. Once you're there, it's going to take you to the current teacher center. They have the new one, but it's changing over time. And then once you're there, you see where it says register for level 1 exam. Click that. And then once it loads, I'm already signed in, but it will prompt you to sign into whatever account. So if you want to use your EBR account, you can. If you want to use your personal Gmail account, you can. You're just simply registering for the exam. That's all you're doing. You're not going to take the test with that account. They're going to give you a test account to take the test.
When you Google it, the second one that comes up is the new one. So just like pay attention to how it looks. Yeah, like the second one is the new one. So either way, you can go both places. But Proctor U will be that one, and the Criterion will be the one with the yellow.
Yeah, so the Criterion looks kind of 80-ish, early 2000s, and the new system is very millennial and very clean. Pretty. Yeah,
but it doesn't work. So
that's very to determine the differences right there. Once you're in Web Assessor, which is where you register for the assessment, you're gonna see some information right here. But in this little toolbar, menu bar right here, it says register for an exam. You're gonna click that. And you have a couple of options. You have for trainers and you have for educators. Click for educators, and then you have level 1, level 2. Click buy now, and you will see the price right there. We don't have any vouchers. I'm so very sorry. They haven't given us any this year at all. But you go ahead and hit you go ahead and hit checkout, and then enter in your credit card or debit card information, and then hit submit. And then that's it. So it's very easy, very streamlined. Let me look at the chat. So how often can you test? That's a really good question. So Google believes in second chances, but they have a limit on how many chances you have. So for example, let's say, this will not happen to any of you guys, but let's say you decide to take the assessment tomorrow on Friday because you're ready to go, you're good to go, but maybe your Wi-Fi goes out and you fail the entire assessment because of that reason. Or maybe you forgot how to do sheets or whatever the case may be. If you fail, they give you a, month cooling off period, or is it 2 weeks? I think it's 2 weeks first, right, y'all?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, thank you. It's a 2-week, 14-day cooling off period where you have to stop, study, brush your skills. They force you to not do anything for 2 weeks. Now, let's say you want to go ahead and take it again after the 2 weeks are up. 2 weeks are up, you register again, you pay, you got to pay again. This is not a one-time pay and you got to pay again every time you retake it. Pay your $10, register again, and let's say the same thing happens again. You fail for whatever reason. They then give you a 1 month cooling off period, or 3 months. I think it's 1 month.
1 month and then 3 months.
And then 3 months, thank you. So 1 month cooling off period. Let's say a month passed again and you fail it again because your child kept bothering you during the exam and they wanted to snack 1,000 times throughout the entire exam. So then that's your second time not failing, not passing. They're going to give you one more chance. You get 3 chances. The third time you take it, that following month, if you fail it that final time, you get 3 months and you have to have a cooling off period. And then you can now take it that final time, you have to wait a whole year. So they give you a 2-week cooling off period, a 1 month cooling off period, and a 3 month cooling off period. After that 3 month cooling off period, if you fail it, they make you wait an entire 365 days. So be mindful and be prepared, because I don't want y'all to waste your money. It's just $10, but it's still money. Okay, that's a Chick-fil-A meal. I want you
It's
to
money and
Time. I
it's
feel
your
like
feeling.
the time, 3 hours of your life, to me, is like the
exactly.
most, you don't want to waste your 3 hours. You gotta
Exactly.
go get it back.
$10 or your $10 or your 3 hours. So make sure you are fully prepared and you have all of the things ready to take the assessment. Make sure your babies are at grandma's house or preoccupied at nap time. Make sure your husband's not
Who
bothering.
takes a 3-hour nap though?
Well, you know, make sure you have quiet, dedicated 3 hours of time to take the test. Okay. I know it's hard to really kind of control your environment sometimes. So just be mindful of that. You cannot pause for bathroom breaks. So make sure everything's out before you start taking your test.
Get your snacks.
Yeah, get your snacks. Yeah, exactly.
Champagne you're gonna celebrate with, all that stuff. Like,
Yeah, I think that's the number one reason people don't pass is because of the time issue where they have distractions and run out of time. Yeah.
Yeah. So just make sure I try to preach and make sure because I live in Livingston and I live in a neighborhood, but my AT&T internet sometimes will just, for whatever reason, blink out and come right back on. I have no idea why. So I am like always afraid of things that happening in the middle of a webinar, in the middle of something important. So have a backup. If you have a hotspot on your phone or a hotspot on your iPad, have that ready to go in case something happens to your Wi-Fi, so that you can immediately get back on that test and resume your test. Make sure your devices are charged. If you're using a laptop, don't leave your charger at work or in your car with your son and he's way at his friend's house. Have all of those. It's just small things to be mindful of that can really set you up for success. Miss Story, we will change those directions on the slide because it shows the paper base. Don't worry about that. We'll change that. If you follow the directions that I just went through, it should bring you to the correct spot. Miss Stephanie, will you get feedback on your results so you know what to study if you need to take it again? Yes and no. So first, they will tell you if you passed or failed, okay? If you failed, it will tell you the percentage of what you scored. You have to make 80% or higher. So if you make a 70%, for example, and you failed, it will tell you categories, not the exact thing of what you need to work on. But it only shows you that one time. They will not email it to you. So when you get that screen that says unfortunately, you have not passed the level 1 assessment, write it down, take a picture of what you need to work on. Now, when I say, show you guys what I mean. When I say it will not give you the exact information, it will give you categories. I mean in the teacher training center, in their little modules. This will make me sign in. I'm already signed in, Google. Come on. Okay, it will give you module titles. They are going to reference these titles. So for example, if you fail, it may say you should brush up on how to expand your access to help and learning, or you should brush up on how to save time communicating. You have to then come back to this and kind of see exactly what is in that module or what's in that section to see what you need to work on. Okay, so it's very, very simple, very easy, nothing too complicated that you have to worry about. Any other questions? Format of the test. So 25-ish multiple choice questions and about 14 performance tests. They do have checkbox, or not checkbox, I'm sorry, that's not the appropriate word. They do have select all that apply questions, but they will literally tell you how many questions, how many answers to select. You're not going to be left trying to guess how many answers to select. So select 3, select 3. So read everything. Are the multiple choice questions easy as long as we are proficient with the apps? Yes, Ms. Harrison, I will say that. If you are proficient with the apps, the multiple choice is extremely easy. Just be, like I said, have the Google up, have your presentation up, so you're ready to go and you're able to jump into everything and you're not wasting time searching, because you can't Google everything. Do not Google everything, because that sucks up time.
Go with your gut. Like, you do have to mark something. Mark something, flag it if you're really concerned, and go back, because you're worried about time.
Sorry, I'm coming. I just got an email asking somebody to share something to them. I was gonna say something else. Oh man. Oh, if you're not a good Googler, and my husband is probably gonna hear me say this right now, because my husband is a horrible Google person. He cannot Google. It takes him about 5 minutes to find an answer. Me, I can search it in 30 seconds and have the answer. If you're not confident with how to use Google effectively to search for answers, don't waste your time Googling for stuff. Use our presentation because it is there for you guys to access and there for you guys to quickly find the answers. Remember, we have those videos in there for you guys. We have all that stuff accessible for y'all to use and to use on the assessment, I should say. Any other questions, y'all? I know he's gonna fuss at me for saying he's not a good Googler because I know he heard me just now. Let me see.
I think we have one question about using docs. I can go ahead and quickly.
Yes, ma'am. And then really quickly, I'm not sure if somebody answered her question. You can take it at night, Miss Clark. Yeah, take it at night. You can take it at 3 o'clock in the morning if you want to, girl. Take it when you have free time, when your children and your husband's not bothering you. Or for my men, if your wife is not bothering you, or your significant other is not bothering you, take it whatever time you have. And then Miss Thomas, also while Mrs. Patan is sharing her screen to go over the doc, to answer your question, how long does it take? So Miss Shalette answered it kind of. She said it's been taking about 24 hours. It used to take like maybe 30 minutes, not like 30 minutes to an hour. I've been getting some people saying that it's been taking them about maybe almost 2 days.
Yeah, it's varied a lot lately.
Yeah.
Don't panic.
Of that.
And it's just getting you guys ready for the new platform, because with the new platform, you can't wait to the last minute to take the test anyway. So it's just a little prep, I guess. So you got to prepare and do it ahead of time.
Let's see this one. What happens after you pass the test?
You get, so when you pass the assessment, you guys,
Good question. Celebrate.
No, celebrate, first of all, because that is a huge task that very few people take time to do. And then also, we have some little cute little fat head stickers that you can place on your wall in your classroom or wherever you want, and a little lanyard with a badge saying that you're level 1 certified. There we go. Miss Washington's holding hers up if you see her in the camera. So she's in our office right now. So you get a cute little badge and a fat head sticker that you can rep and brag to all your coworkers about you passing level 1 assessment.
Okay, so our question was, so how can you change the name of a doc after it has been attached? And for some reason, and correct me if I'm wrong, whoever answered that question, I know sometimes some people, the first thing that I always like to do is when I open up a new doc is title it, because that's how, we're going to track and we'll be able to search for it. But what if I forget to title it right after I close my screen? You remember when you're inside of your drive, you can always go to your recent documents. And I have little snapshot pictures, little small pictures of what those documents look like. And I can see them in my recent ones. I didn't title this one. So I can right click on it and I can rename it straight from there. Or if I need to view it a little bit better, I can always open it up. And this looks like Joy was doing her homework last night and she didn't title it. So I can go there and I can type into untitled document what I want it to be. And I can recover it that way. And click out of the box, and now it's saved and refreshed and renamed. Let's see, does that answer your question? All right, cool.
Ms. Patan, we have a question about how to pin a page.
Ooh.
They're trying to be fancy.
Look, do I know? Let's see. Pin a page. What doc is that? Sorry, what tool?
Pin a tab. I'm sorry.
Oh, pin a tab. You cut it off. Okay. All right. So, oh yeah, I remember when we were talking about, like, for example, I am notorious for for closing out the Google Meet. So I go to several of my tabs at the top and right click on the name and then scroll down and click on pin. And now it's going to go all the way over to the left side. And I don't have that little X anymore that I can accidentally click on it and close stuff out. So I can also pin my drive and keep that open. So that's a good reminder. When you're taking the test, you want to pin that tab of your test. Great. Ooh, I was like, pin a site.
I'm sorry. Miss Wendy, the test will be the same. It's just the platform, but Google has released information about it being pushed back until next year or 2021. So it's going to be the same assessment. Okay. So the questions won't change and all of that. Is just the platform that you take it will change eventually. So, but we recommend, don't wait too long because you're going to lose the information if you are not using it. So after today, you guys, if you don't plan on taking the assessment until maybe the end of June, don't ever open up Google after this. Continue using Google until you're ready to take the assessment. The classroom is here for y'all to practice in. So please, if you will not be booted out the classroom. Now, I will say though, once y'all become level 1 certified, we may boot you out to make some more room for other people. Okay, so we're not having 1,001 classrooms. So let us know once you get level 1 certified. Email us, and whoever you email will forward the sheets for you to fill out so that you can be recognized on a district level that you've been level 1 certified, and then we can remove you from that classroom and then stick you into the level 1 classroom. Speaking of level, go ahead.
Can I see you pin that tab again? You're kind of wet.
Yes,
sure. I'm gonna actually. So I went to any one of the tabs. Yes.
If you hit Control-Shift-T, it'll reopen a tab you accidentally closed. Also works for students who say they weren't doing anything.
Right. Tricky kids. So to pin the tab, right click on it, the name, and click on pin. So what Ms. Gillette was saying was if I accidentally close the tab, like that classroom, I needed it, I can click on Control, Shift, and T, and it comes back. Now, I will say, though, if I accidentally close the Google Meet, I still have to log in again and stuff like that. So that's not so helpful.
While you're talking, I clicked on my YouTube tab, and I held it down with the right click, and it's not popping up with the option to pin the tab.
Oh, well, let's see.
May I ask, what kind of device are you using, Ms. Carter?
I'm on Mac.
Okay.
But I'm into Google, though. I logged into Google Chrome.
Okay. And you right-clicked on one of your tabs at the very top?
Yes.
Now, I know if you're on a MacBook, and because I complain about this all the time, I have a MacBook also. Their mouse, their trackpad is similar to a Chromebook unless you change it. So you may be right-clicking, but it's not recognizing your right click. So in the middle of your trackpad, do a 2-finger click in the middle of your trackpad this time and see if that helps.
Oh, yeah. Try to use the bunny ears.
Yeah. Did that help, Ms. Carter?
No.
No. Can you share your screen with us?
I'm not on the notebook, Mac notebook. I'm on the actual desktop.
Well, yeah, the same. Oh, well, see, I have a desktop Mac as well, but I have, what kind of mouse do you have? Do you have the white mouse or the trackpad mouse?
I have the white mouse.
Okay, so yeah, you should be able to just right click because I have my Mac desktop on right now. So if you right click, it doesn't come up. Can you share your screen with us if you don't mind? If not, it's okay.
I don't mind sharing my screen.
Okay, yeah. If you don't mind coming back to the meeting and share your screen so we can see what's going on.
Okay, now what do I do in order to do that?
So come back to the Google Meets, and when you move your mouse in the right-hand corner, it's gonna say Danielle Potan is presenting. Click that, and then choose your entire screen.
Okay, let me see. I see the little people. I see. Ooh. It's not telling me. Up there by the little cookies.
It's in the bottom right corner of your screen.
Bottom right. Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
Go to those cookies. Oh, I see Danielle Patain.
And then so click Danielle Patin's presenting and then click your entire screen.
Okay, I clicked her.
And then when you click your entire screen, another little window, it may say this will let you take over.
Yeah.
So click share now.
I click share now.
And then one more little thing may pop open. Click your screen and then click share. And that should be it.
Okay, did it do it?
Yes, ma'am. Look at you. Hi, girl. Yes.
There you go.
So let's see. Go to one of your tabs and on your mouse, right click.
I went to the YouTube tab.
And then right click right there.
And it's not doing anything.
So I think you're left clicking because it's make sure you're all the way to the right hand side of your mouse.
All right. To the
and make sure you're on the tab.
Okay, I'm on the tab. I'm clicking.
And then right click. Make sure you right click.
Go into that H, the H of how.
Yeah, go over a little bit more and then right click. Make sure, because I think you were left clicking just now because your tab had moved. Right click on that tab.
To the right.
On your mouse and then click.
To the right. This is the right. This is my left.
But Haney, you might have to walk her through the settings.
I'm not doing anything.
Okay. Okay. That's not required. That's just a really good tip to kind of push over your
Now while you're looking on my level on this test here, I was doing this slide test.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it. And when they asked me to put the YouTube video that they had already in there, so I typed it in there, as you could see in my 5th slide.
Oh, you have to do a comment. You have to insert the video for that.
But how do I do that?
So go to, you see on your menu bar, it says inserts.
Yes.
Click insert and then go to video.
Okay. I'm in.
Can somebody take over? I got a phone call. I'm so sorry.
Sure. So we were inserting a video. So
yeah.
Go at the top and look for.
Yeah, I'm in insert.
Okay. So look all the way at the top and click on the actual word that says insert.
That's what I've done.
Well, let's see. Okay, so all the way at the top.
Okay, let me click.
We should. So go up a little bit more.
Okay.
Because where your mouse is, you are at picture. So so you should. Okay, that's slide.
Yeah.
There we go. You got it.
Sir.
There you go.
And so
there
then
you go.
Where?
To the video.
Click on video.
Mm-hmm.
And it have me to YouTube.
So you can search for video right there. So you can like type in a subject that you'd want. Like if you wanted to do a video about dogs, so you can click it. You can type in dogs right there.
It asked me to do the video on the students organize.
So if you have the video already that you want to directly add, you would click on by URL. That's up a little bit, right? And then you will go to your YouTube video. This is where you would type in that www.youtube.com/something.
It had HTTP.
Yep.
//www.
So
you forgot to peek.
If you go back and you just copy that link on your 5th slide and paste it in there, it should open up for you. Did y'all do that already? I'm sorry.
That's where we're at. Yeah.
Copy it?
Yeah, so hit the X on that box. and copy that. Oh, that's what happened. So look, only copy www starting from right there all the way to the back. Skip that htt dot //.
Oh, let's see.
So copy starting from W all the way to the back. Also, everyone, the recording will be placed in the Google Classroom. It will not be emailed out, so you have to go to the Google Classroom to access it. Once it's done processing and we end the meeting today, it will be placed in the Google Classroom.
So I should have been able to copy and paste that, right?
Yes, ma'am. You just deleted it. So it's okay. Just go back.
I had hand type that in.
Yeah, so go to your video, go to your tab with YouTube open.
Okay, this is my tab with the YouTube open.
And then you're gonna copy that link right there. So do Control C, Command C on your computer.
Okay. Command C. I've hit that. Now I'm gonna let it go.
And then go back to your presentation and go to insert and then go to video.
Okay, I'm going back to my slides.
Ms. Clark, the office hours will be in here today at 4 o'clock to 4 to 4:30. Ms. Thomas Shepard will be in here. So just come back to this location for office hours. Ms. Eborda, you can test whenever you want to. And then paste that link in the box, Ms. Carter.
Do I paste it in?
Hit Command V to paste it.
Oh, okay. Let me get back.
On your keyboard. No, don't close it. Don't close it.
Oh, I had went up here to the insert.
Yeah. Go to insert and then go to video. Then you're gonna insert that link there. So go to video, and then do Command V, and your link should pop up right there.
Do Command V.
Command V as in Victor.
Oh, V as in Victor.
At the same time.
I feel like you really need that right click. So maybe like later on.
It did it.
It did it, but you did it too many times. So delete, don't hit select yet. Delete all of that in that box and then do it only one time because you did it too many times. It's okay. You almost home free. You're almost home free.
Oh my God. See, all I have been using is Mac. So then to use the I've been using Safari. And now I'm trying to get familiar with this one. Why is it taking so long?
Just double click in that box and it'll turn blue and just delete. Because you pasted it like a thousand times, Ms. Carter.
That was horrible.
So if you click in that box, Ms. Carter, it's gonna turn blue. You can delete it at one time. So
okay.
click in that box. So double click in that box. Double click. Like right behind each other. Double.
1, 2.
Oh, okay. Well, then go ahead and just highlight and delete then.
I'm not doing it, so I'm gonna highlight it, delete it. Oh my God, I did a lot.
For those who are leaving out of the room, have a great day. The attendance form is in the chat box a few times. The recording will be made in the Google Classroom. Okay, so just be mindful of that. You have to go to the classroom to access the video for today. Miss Carter, there you go. You hit select and you're good to go.
Oh.
It's in the chat box, Miss Clark. It's been posted a couple of times.
Oh Lord, I did it.
There you go.
Okay, that was easy. Oh, but it went into the wrong box.
It's okay. Do the same stuff again for extra practice, okay?
I moved it to 5.
There you go.
All right then.
All right.
I'm gonna continue to practice. If I have any problems, guys, at 4.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Angela Thomas Shepard will be here at 4 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Oh,
okay. Hit to unshare your screen, Miss Carter. I'm gonna share my screen and just take over. Then I'll unshare it.
Miss Haney.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question about sharing comments on document. Yeah. Whenever you share comments, just share it with any person. You just do add, you do plus sign and put the email. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. So you don't assign a comment it will just be there, and so whoever has the access to the document can see that comment. But if you want someone to specifically say, this is my comment, and you want to assign it to somebody, you have to do the plus sign and their email address, or the @ symbol and their email address.
So like if I put just like plus sign and put the email, I share it, but I don't assign it. Assign means that they have to respond or do something about it.
Yes, ma'am. You want them. You're bringing their attention to what you commented on.
Okay. I have another question for Miss Patain.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know. There is another meeting yesterday I attended about. I don't remember. It was too many meetings, but you were sharing your screens.
Okay.
How to share two screens together?
Oh, like okay. I added an extension to my
Can you
Chrome.
show it to me how I can do that?
Sure. Let me make sure I'm taking over. Okay, so a disclaimer that so to get some of the extensions, the buttons that just kind of power up your Google Chrome, sometimes we have some restrictions within our domain, our EBR domain. So this extension that I have is called Tab Resize. And so what happens when I click on it, I can make a couple of windows. I can make 4, 2x2, 2x1. I use this one a lot when I don't have dual monitors to split my screen. Okay, so to get that, and there's a couple of tab resizers, but to get the extension, you would go to Chrome, the Chrome Web Store, which is chrome.google.com/web store. And we talked about the Chrome Web Store, I think on day 1, so that's also in the slide deck. And then you search for the extension that we want. So this one is called Tab Resize.
Okay.
And you can see, here it is right here. So I have a rated because I have it already. If you have, if you click on any one of them and you get a admin block, then you would need to go to our IT help desk for them to add it to your account. And it should be no problem for them to do that.
Okay. I have another question, Ms. Haney. So you told me that after, can you hear me?
I was muted. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you told me that you are going to figure out when we can have another training for level 2, or how are you going to do this?
So actually, we have the information now. Go sign me up. You're gonna, let me get the link right now. It's on my phone. You're gonna locate the course number. The course number will be in the chat box right now, 40947. Locate that session and go sign me up. And you will register for the level 2 informational. It is not it's not going to be a boot camp like this. It will be completely self-paced in Google Classroom, where you're going to go through and learn on your own. And of course, if you need support, you can always reach out to someone on the team. So if you're interested in level 2 that we have for the summer, it's in Go Sign Me Up at that session number in the chat box.
Okay. And if we take the test, when we can get the result? Is it going to be like a week or so?
It's
to figure out the pass.
Some people have gotten about 2 days, but worst case scenario, about 2 days. I think they tell people now it's up to 14 days, but you have it probably email within a day or so.
Okay. Thank you so much. I really learned a lot from this training, and I appreciate your time and your patience.
No problem. We have a really good team. We're all former classroom teachers, so we all know how important patience is whenever you're teaching something brand new. So thank y'all for the kind words.
Thank you.
Miss Thomas, are you still there? Miss Coretta Thomas, to explain your question.
Yeah, I had asked about the tips. Thank you, Mrs. Henderson. Y'all are so sweet. Don't forget to do your attendance form, you guys, so we can give y'all credits. It may take a while to get your credit because it's a lot of y'all across 4 days, but you guys will get your credit as in the next couple of hopefully week or so.
Hi, ladies. I wanted to know, I posted a question about how can you save the information. Thank you.
Ooh, that's a loud phone. All right, so Miss Fontana, man, is that somebody at a building or is that your home phone? That stuff is loud. Miss Fontaine, can you go? Yeah, thank you. So, Mrs. Cotto, the presentation is in the Google Bootcamp, not Google Bootcamp, the Google Classroom that we have given y'all access to. If you scroll to the very bottom, you'll see it's like the first post, I think, in the classroom. There we go. It's right there. So that's where it's gonna live forever and ever. I won't remove it. No one will remove it. It'll stay there for easy access for all of y'all.
What do you mean when you say that because maybe there's going to be 1,000 participants and you're planning to remove something? So
no,
maybe
it will. So we use the same slide deck. So if anything changes on the assessment, we update that same slide deck. So we've been using that same slide deck for maybe 3 years. And we've updated it as time goes. So it will always be accessible in that classroom.
Thank you, ladies. I really appreciate how you kindness, because it doesn't matter who asks the question, how the question is made, the pronunciation, the grammar. You were very kind with everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. No problem, Ms. Cotto. We're here to support. Y'all are making my heart swell. Thank y'all so much.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Thomas. Come on with your question.
Okay. I was talking to you when you asked me was I there, but I was muted. And then as soon as I unmuted, the phone rang.
Oh, that was your phone.
Right next to the computer. That's why it was so loud.
Gotcha. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What's a tip? Is that a dumb question? I mean, I'm doing the slides performance task. And it said present 4 tips. And I did everything except.
So on the assessment.
In the video, I know how to share it with the person. Do I put it in a folder when I share it with Ed?
No, you did everything right. It just says that presents 4 tips. We'll change that wording. On the assessment, they ask you to create an attractive slide that will include 4 tips. And I can't remember if they give you the tips to include, but we didn't include it here. But we'll remove that. So as long as you have your 4 text boxes, you're good to go.
Okay, because I was just like, watch this video, comment on the video, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just want 4 ideas on the exam, and as long as you have like a text box with stuff in it.
Mm-hmm. It can be like number 1 in it. Is whatever you want.
They don't have to be right. They just have to be there.
Exactly. So just have your 4 text boxes. And if you want to put tip 1, tip 2, tip 3, tip 4, but no actual tip, that's perfectly fine.
Okay. So when it says leave a direct comment, does that go into the private comment section?
So no, ma'am. Remember, when you leave a direct comment, so you're gonna click on your video and then do a comment. And to add a direct comment, you're gonna hit the plus sign or the @ symbol, and then the email address, and then assign it. That's how you do a direct comment.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I was like,
yes, ma'am.
Now on that about the one where you had to read the 2 paragraphs and comment on the paragraphs. Yes, I mean in the final exam. It was like the final exam, and I had commented on the rivers, the Mississippi River, and the stuff that they asked me to comment on, the Lafayette River. And what I did was they had a little X to the bottom. I clicked on that little X. They gave me a little comment box But then I had nowhere to send the box because the address that they gave, which was the Ed Teach,
Ed Tech, yes, ma'am.
Tech EBR schools. What happened with that is that, you know, it just don't let you go send it anywhere. So that's
So
just
did you do your plus sign ahead of Ed Tech at EBR schools?
no.
So you have to do that in order to assign the comment to someone. So on that Atchafalaya Basin document.
That's horrible.
It's okay. It happens to the best of us. Hit the little plus sign and you can just
trying to rush through this thing. That's a thing I got to pay attention to. That.
Yes, yes, Miss Carter. You have to read every single line on the assessment.
You know, like you say, okay, I got it. I'm gonna go ahead on. Oh my God, that was the problem. Okay, I see it now.
Okay, good.
I'll pay attention from now on. That was a good.
Yes, Miss Carter. On the test,
that was a good hiccup from me because it let me know to go ahead and read it through all the way, just on assume.
You got to read everything on the assessment. So yeah, so make sure you use that tip and keep that inside of your mind.
That's why I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I did that because I would have made that same mistake on the test had I not did the practice test.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. Are there any final questions, you guys, before we go ahead and end the call today?
That was a good reminder for everybody to go to and take the practice test that's posted in Google Classroom. So there's practice, multiple choice and practice tasks. Set yourself up in like the same environment that you want to be for when you take the test.
100% agree.
Okay, ladies. C. Thomas here signing out. You did a great job. I feel a little better. I'm going to practice more,
awesome.
But I feel pretty good about things. You ladies did a phenomenal job putting all of this together.
Thank you so much, Ms. Thomas. Have a great day. Let us know whenever you pass. I got to mute myself. I got a phone call. I'm sorry, y'all.
Okay, I have a question. For the level 2 certification, is that the link on the Go Sign Me Up for June 29th, quick start to Google level 2 certification?
Yeah, so we're going to do like an informational, since it's self-paced, we just want to let you know how the Google Classroom is set up and how you're going to submit assignments, since the boot camp is going to be pretty much you doing it by yourself for level 2. So yeah, sign up for that one. We're just going to meet quick just to talk about some things about level 2, but not go through each tool itself, if that helps.
Okay, I'll continue to do the practice for this level 1. I'm going to try and take it before the end of the month, but I'm going to go back and watch all the little short videos, because when I started doing some of the tasks, I didn't look at the little short clips. I didn't realize until later, because after you start doing something, it's like I submit the sheets, but I wasn't sure I did sheets correctly at the end when it was time to share it. So a few little things I just need to practice still.
Yeah, on the slide deck, where you actually see the task, it's really helpful to watch the video of him going through and completing the task. He has a really slow voice and he, does a good job at completing it.
But would you guys do that practice test, or how does that work?
So in the slide deck, all the way down to the last slide, there is a practice test slide. Let me go to it.
Oh, I should say the final exam. That's what I'm really talking about.
The final exam of our boot camp?
Yes, of your boot camp practice test.
Okay, so let's take a look.
Final exam. Do you guys check that, or what happens with that?
Yes, so go ahead and when you submit it, we'll be sure to give you feedback, and we give us about a week, because what instructors are trying to do is every assignment that you guys complete and turn into the Google Classroom, we are going to give you some feedback either directly or just make like a short additional video of us completing the task. So do you have something that tells you if you did it right or wrong?
Good, good. That's good.
So on slide 182, these are all the final exam tasks, 1 through 9. But if you click on this icon of Google Forms, it will take you to the multiple choice questions. You can get to it that way, or if you go to our level 1 Google Classroom, it's under classwork, and it should be the first topic on the left side to get to the shortcut. There is this one right here. There are the tasks right here, all these, and it'll open up into Google Slides. And then here are the practice multiple choice questions, like that. It's set up this way. Cool. All right. All right, it's quiet on the interweb.
I have another question.
Sure.
I took some training with Google early May. Now, how can I go back and watch those trainings? Because some things that I opened up saved to my Google Drive, but I was looking for it recently and I couldn't find it, because I know like the classes Miss Wax did maybe April, she had a tab, a little button where if I joined it when she was doing it live, I could do that, or I could also hit a button and go back and watch the session. But I couldn't find it for the ones that Google did.
So you did some classes from the Google Teacher Center, or there was like an actual presenter that you went to?
Training.
They
You're talking
did
about
Jamboards,
the ed tech company. So we have not received those recordings because we did not do it. Another external company, vendor company did it. So we haven't gotten the recordings from them. Once we get it, it will be made available to everybody.
Oh, because I sure wanted to look at that now. Okay.
I know. You remember the title of it, or remember what like the topic of it was? Because our presenters also, like our team also attended.
They have the recordings. Let me go find them. They have a document with the recordings on there.
With the recording. Okay, yeah. So once we get that, we'll send it to you, Ms. Hall.
Okay, all right. Let me see what other questions I may have. Oh, yes. All these workshops all summer long. I know you guys have talked about it, but, you know, I can only catch so many because we have time conflicts. So what kind of document would you guys put together? Have you already started doing that so we can just, and how we get access to that?
On the summer PD document that has all the links, if you know what I'm talking about, that Robin Wax sent out.
Yeah, I know that.
So on that document, we've added a tab. It's at the very end called recordings. Over the next week or so, we'll start putting all of the recordings on that document for your easy access. So it's possible.
Okay, I'll just continue to look at.
So once it loads, at the very bottom, there's a tab at the very end after the tech integration tab that says recordings. Nothing's on there right now, but when you click on it in about a week or so, we're going to start populating that form with our recordings on there.
Okay, that's fine, because I think I'll just take the next few days just to practice everything that you guys have given, as well as to go back and watch these videos. Because, I mean, even though I've looked at things over the summertime, I went to the Google teacher certification. Some of the stuff was, you know, I knew, some of it I didn't know. And I watched a few videos, YouTube and, you know, other sources. But now, you know, I'm getting a much better understanding, becoming more familiar, because, you know, it's a lot of apps to, you know, make sure you comprehend and understand you can actually use it efficiently. But thank you again. And if I have any questions, then I'll come back at 4 o'clock. Well, you know what, since you guys are still here, that calendar, I'm confused about calendar. I have put some things on my calendar. I've been practicing it all summer long, but one, how do I strike out things after I've done it? And two, I'm still confused about who's getting what on my calendar, because I have about 12 calendars on my name, and then I have all these other calendars. So I'm enrolled in all kind of Google Classroom calendars from all my coworkers, and I've made calendars.
Okay, so you can do, so here's my calendar. And so if you have like too many events that you see on your layout of your calendar days, you can click on these check marks to make them go away, and you can always get them back if you need to. I always keep this my calendar because, you know, that's me. That's the events I create for myself. You should have a my calendar. That's like just the default. But you can take all these other things out. Now, the Google Classroom, if you are a student, you can't per se delete that classroom, but you can always go to the name of the class. You can hide the events, but you can also click on, you remember the chocolate chips, and you can hide even the name from that class in the extensive list of the calendars that you have right here.
Okay, because I have my library calendar on my schedule as well, and I joined several other teachers' calendars last week. We were all practicing in progress, so I just wanted to make sure that everything that I was including for my schedule for me to attend this summer, I'm not putting it on everybody else's calendar.
Yeah, that is a good point. And note just a little quick tip. Next to like the calendars, there's assigned a color. So all of the events on this calendar right here. So my calendar, I make sure in this check mark, there's a little there's like a color that goes along with the calendar. And then just to make sure that you said you don't want to assign the events to other people's calendars, when you click in the box to create the event, you can just double check when you go all the way down in the events. You see right here on mine where it says my calendar. You can assign, just double check and make sure that is clicked in that box on the calendar that you wanted to go to on that calendar's title.
Okay. Okay, now I have practiced a few times with another teacher, and we said that we would try and make some time to practice some of these tasks as well. Since I am a member of her class, can I click on her class and do like find the time in her classroom? Because her calendar is on mine.
Yeah. So you are a co-teacher of her Google Classroom?
Oh, you know what? I don't know if I added myself as a co-teacher when we were in the meeting. I may have put myself as a student. I would have to check. Okay. But if I was a co-teacher, then I could have done it.
Yeah, you have all of the same rights as she does to add calendar events.
Okay. Okay. All right, that makes sense now. I'll just have to make sure I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. Also, is there an app that will allow me to record more than 5 minutes? Because I've been playing around with Screencastify, but it cuts me off at 5 minutes.
Oh, because you have the
I think I have to pay for the.
Yeah. Ms. Haney, do you have Loom? I think Loom lets you record screen.
I use Loom is my favorite on my laptop, and that lets me record. I can do 5 hours of stuff. So I'm not sure if you have what kind of device you have, Ms. Hall, but if you have QuickTime on your device, you can use the screencasting tool and the screen recording tool on QuickTime, and it's unlimited amounts. I know Ms. Gillette likes Loom. That's another screencasting system.
Wait a minute, hold up.
Yeah, this
time. Pronounce that. Are you Loom? L-O-O-M?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's in the Chrome Web Store.
And there's a free educator upgrade that takes like 2 seconds, so you can get the pro version for free forever. Not a trial period, forever.
Oh no.
Yeah, it takes like 2 seconds.
Are there any final questions before we go ahead in today's meeting? Today at 4 o'clock, you guys, we have office hours. So someone will be in here from our department answering all your questions and providing support from 4 to 4:30. Any final questions before we end? No problem.